Mother, back then, your son-in-law was poisoned by the cold poison. I easily cured him. Then, your son-in-law gave his body to me and cried and shouted that he wanted to marry me. My heart softened and I got along with him. Hee. Yun Chujio shamelessly made up a lie. Sheng Envi did not know the twists and turns in the story and indeed believed it. Little Jiu, is what you said true? Can you really cure your father's cold poison? It really can't be any more true. However, this will take some time, and it can't be eradicated immediately. It'll probably take a year. I've been waiting for more than 10 years, so it won't be any different from this year. Come with me to see your father. He'll be very happy to see you, Sheng Envi said happily. Mother, I can't see father right now. First, Vice Palace Master Lu knows that you value father very much. If you rashly take me to see father, he'll definitely be suspicious. Second, father's health isn't very good. It's not good for his health if his mood fluctuates too much after seeing me. Even when you talk to him, you should take it easy and let it permeate bit by bit, Yun Chujio said after thinking for a moment. The saintess patted Yun Chujio's little head approvingly. Little Jio is really smart. Even mother didn't think so much. Mother will listen to you. Then let's discuss the next step of the plan between the two of us. Yun Chujio and the saintess discussed for a day, but they didn't have any good ideas. Sheng Envi and Yun Chujio didn't have any good ideas, therefore, Yun Chujio said, Mother, we still need to take a long time to think about this matter. When you go back, think about it again. Is there any way to get the Jin family to cooperate with us? If we have the help of the Jin family, our chances will be higher. After the saintess nodded and agreed, the mother and daughter went back to their respective residences. Sheng Envi and Yun Chujio went back to their respective residences. The Sheng Envi felt that she had drifted back to her residence. Seeing the Sheng Envi's strange expression, Yun Zhangqing asked, Biyun, what happened? How is Lin Chuchu doing? The Sheng Envi wished that she could tell the truth at once, but when she recalled Yun Chujio's words, she could only suppress the excitement in her heart and say, Husband, I think that Lin Chuchu really wants to help us. Moreover, the more I look at her, the more she looks like little Jiu. Do you think that she is little Jiu? Biyun, do you miss little Jiu so much that you have an illusion? How could little Jiu come to the Netherworld continent in the Tianyuan continent? Besides, isn't little Jiu a heavenly thunder spirit root? That Lin Chuchu is a fire spirit root. Yun Zhangqing shook his head and smiled bitterly. He felt that the holy maiden's idea was very unrealistic. Perhaps she has some cultivation technique that can change the output of spirit energy. I will test it again tomorrow. Husband, what do you think will happen if that Lin Chuchu is really little Jiu? If that Lin Chuchu really is little Jiu, he'll naturally be very happy. However, the possibility is too small. Biyun, since that Lin Chuchu is trustworthy, then you should think of a way to get her to help you stall for some time. Who knows, when that time comes, little Jiu might really be able to come and save us. Seeing that Yun Zhangqing had said so, the holy maiden could not directly say that Lin Chuchu was little Jiu. She decided to wait a few days before telling him the truth. The next day, the saintess arrived at the main hall without even having breakfast. She wanted to see Yun Chujio earlier than Sheng Envi. Yun Chujio had also arrived early. After the mother and daughter had eaten breakfast, Yun Chujio handed a few porcelain bottles to the saintess. Mother, this is a medicine to treat cold poison. Let father drink 1 bottle every day and his body will recover. After the saintess took it, she opened the bottle cap and smelled it. She couldn't help but frown. Little Jiu, what's inside? Why is there a bloody smell? This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Mother, there's a special spiritual medicine called the 9 Heavens True Dragon Blood Transforming Vine. Its juice tastes like this. Don't worry, your son-in-law drank this well. However, don't put this medicine outside. It's better to put it in the storage ring. Xiao Hanio inside the spiritual beast bag almost burst out laughing. The black-hearted master was really a waste of a name. 9 Heavens True Dragon. It was clearly your blood, all right. After Yun Chujio went back yesterday, she let out some blood, but she was afraid that she would be exposed, so she added some water and some spirit medicine that didn't have much effect. Hearing Yun Chujio's words, the saintess was relieved. Once she heard that the 9 Heavens True Dragon blood transforming vine was a very high-level spirit medicine, this medicine would definitely be effective. After the saintess put away the porcelain bottle, she said to Yun Chujio, "Little Jiu, mother remembered something when she went back yesterday." In order to show their submission to the Netherworld Hall, the Jin family gave the Jin family's most precious treasure, the Dragon Roar Sword, to my father. Now that the Dragon Roar Sword is in my hands, do you think you can use this sword as a condition? Yun Chujio's eyes lit up. We can try this. With the Longyin sword, Jin Ji's father is quite well known. Let me communicate with Jin Ji. These days, Yun Chujio had not contacted Jin Ji. This guy was very shrewd. This was also a game process. Whoever lost their cool first would lose the initiative. Beauty Jin Ji, did you go to get married and have children? Why hasn't there been any movement? Yun Chujio said in a ruffian manner. Soon, the sound transmission talisman began to vibrate. Jin Ji's voice came from inside. Nonsense. After I told my father about your proposal, my father was a little tempted, but the elders in the clan didn't agree. They thought that the risk was too great, so I didn't reply to you. Beauty Jin Ji, I have already formed an alliance with the Sheng Nv. The Sheng Nv now treats me as her own daughter. Sheng Nv heard about our relationship and decided to give you the Jin family's Longyin sword as a gift. When we meet again, I will give you the Longyin sword, Yun Chujio said with a smile. On the other side, Jin Ji did not reply for a long time. Yun Chujio knew that Jin Ji must have gone to find her father. She was not stupid. How could Sheng Nv give her such a heavy gift for no reason? This was clearly a condition in exchange. Yun Chujio did not hurry. She knew that there would not be a reply for a while. She said to the saintess, "Mother, the Jin family will probably need to discuss for a few days before there is a result. I have something to ask you." Sheng Nv was stunned. The saintess was stunned. What is it? Sheng Nv asked, do you still remember how Qinglan tricked Jin Ji and me into the forbidden area a few days ago? Sheng Nv asked. Jin Ji and I did enter the forbidden area, but I found a secret passage. There are 2 exits in the secret passage. One leads to the pavilion in the garden, and the other leads to an unknown place. I am going to take a look. Perhaps it will help us. Sheng Nv was shocked. What? There's a secret passage in the forbidden area? How come I don't know about it? Sheng Nv couldn't help but feel lucky. Fortunately, there was a secret passage. Otherwise, she would have personally framed little Jiu. It was really a close call. I'm also very puzzled. I thought there were some treasures, but there were only 2 secret passages. I guess the person who dug the secret passage must be full. Yun Chujio curled her lips and said. Sheng Nv glared at her. Don't talk nonsense. This secret passage must have been dug by our ancestors. Maybe it has some special purpose. Tomorrow is the first day of the Lunar New Year. I want to enter the Forbidden Land to deliver the spirit stones for worship. At that time, I'll take you in under the pretext of teaching you the process of worship. Let's see where the other secret passage leads to. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. That's great. Maybe there's a treasure vault at the end of another secret passage. If that's the case, we'll both be rich. Yun Chujio said with starry eyes. The saintess' eyes turned red when she saw this. Xing Envy was greedy because she and her husband were not by her side, so she lacked a sense of security. She could only rely on these external things to increase her sense of security. She really let Xing Envy down. Mother, although your beauty is pretty with tears in her eyes, my heart also aches when you cry. Don't be sad. Yun Chujio said with a frown. Good, good. Mother is not sad. Mother is too happy. No one has discovered the secret tunnel you mentioned for many years. I didn't expect you to discover it so quickly. Mother's little Jio is really powerful. Mother, you will know how amazing I am in the future. Yun Chujio said shamelessly. Xing Envy pointed at Yun Chujio's forehead and said, who praises themselves. Tell me, what happened between you and Di Biming? Yun Chujio told Di Biming some things. Of course, this guy had done some processing and changed all his embarrassing parts. He was acting coquettishly and begging for mercy, he was acting cute and flattering, but it was all done by Di Biming. Xing Envy felt that there were some parts of what Yun Chujio said didn't make sense, but she didn't have time to think about it. She said coldly, the palace master's wife actually despised you for not being good enough for Di Biming. Pooey. My little Jio is the best girl in the world, and I even despise Di Biming for not being good enough for my little Jio like a wooden stake. Yun Chujio's heart warmed. As expected, there was a mother's child that was like a treasure. Mother, don't be angry. My aunt was only a little against me back then. Now she dotes on me very much. Moreover, I'm so smart. Every time she finds trouble, I always cheat her. My little treasury is now full of money. Even back then. This netherworld palace will belong to you in the future, little Jio. Di Biming is just a master of the Temple of Immortals. He really isn't worthy of you. If the Temple of Immortals doesn't show some sincerity, Mother will definitely not agree to your marriage to that wooden stake. Xing Envy said through gritted teeth, when she thought about how her precious treasure was actually put in such a difficult position, she really wished she could kick Di Linhan and the Lady of the Temple Master a few times. Yun Chujio stuck out her tongue and decided to let this matter go for now and wait for Xing Envy to calm down before speaking, hence, she changed the topic. Mother, where did I get that seed when I caught Joe? Grandfather said it was your dowry. Is that true? Xing Envy shook her head and said, how could I use a seed as dowry? I think your grandfather misunderstood. That seed was found on your body when I picked you up. I thought it was quite unique, so I kept it. I wanted to take it out to play with you when I caught Joe, but I didn't expect you to hold on to it and not let go. Why did you suddenly think of asking this? It's nothing, I was just curious. Mother, what happened back then? Why did you go to Qingxian continent? Yun Chujio smiled bitterly in her heart. She thought that she would know the origin of the Guai Chao after seeing my mother, but she didn't expect that there was something else going on. However, I shouldn't let my mother worry. We'll talk about it in the future. Back then, your grandfather suddenly died. At that time, I felt as if the sky had collapsed. Lu Huanhua was helping out both internally and externally. In addition, your grandfather also intended to betroth me to him when he was still alive. At that time, I also agreed to marry him, Xing Envy said, an angry expression appeared on her face. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Who would have thought that I would accidentally find out that this bastard was the one who killed your grandfather? Although I wanted to avenge your grandfather, the power of the Netherworld Palace was already in his hands. I decided to think of a way to escape first and then find an opportunity to take revenge. Lu Huanhua didn't think that I would know the truth, so the Netherworld Palace's security wasn't very tight at that time. I found an opportunity to escape. However, Lu Huanhua soon found out and sent many people to hunt me down. Later on, I really had no way out. I gritted my teeth and came to the border between the netherworld and the Qingxian continent. After using a secret technique, I entered the Qingxian continent. However, I never expected that the spiritual power of the people of the netherworld continent would be greatly reduced when they arrived at the Qingxian continent. My cultivation level was directly reduced to the 5th level of spirit enhancement. What was worse was that I was besieged by demonic beasts. Although I relied on the power of the netherworld and the defensive spirit tools on my body to save my life, I suffered severe injuries and lost my memory. Fortunately, I met your father later on, and only then did I survive. If I hadn't rashly gone to the border, I wouldn't have been discovered by the people of the netherworld hall, and my family would still be living happily together. This is all Mother's fault. Xiao Jiu, will you resent Mother? Xing Nv looked at Yun Chuzhou nervously. Yun Chuzhou smiled brightly. Mother, what are you talking about? If it weren't for you and Father picking me up back then, would have died long ago. Besides, even if you and Father aren't by my side, I still have my grandfather and uncle. They are all very good to me. In the past, I was always fooling around and they didn't dislike me. So, Mother, don't blame yourself. You just have to love me in the future. I am very easy to satisfy. You just have to give me all the treasures of the Netherworld Palace. The corner of Xing Nv's eyes twitched. Little Jill, we're not short of money. Don't be so greedy as a girl in the future. Mother, of course, the more money, the better. You can't be reluctant to give it up, right? Don't tell me you want to give me a younger brother to fight with me for the family property? Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. What nonsense are you talking about? How rude. Xing Nv's face turned red and spat at Yun Chuzhou. Hee, Mother, what's there to be embarrassed about? Although I'm greedy, I'm still willing to share some of my younger siblings with them. You and Father haven't moved for so many years. Is it because of my father's health? This fellow asked shamelessly. Xing Nv didn't expect her obedient little daughter to be so crooked. She poked her forehead with her hand and said, Mind your own business. You don't have to worry about your father and me. Mother, it's better to have a prosperous family. What was there to be afraid of? My Uncle Master's medical skills are superb. If it's because of your health, I'll let him take a look at you. Also, is your original name Lin Biyun? Yun Chuzhou never knew what embarrassment was, she said casually. Xing Nv touched her forehead. Although she felt that Yun Chuzhou was really rude, she couldn't bear to scold her when she thought of the suffering she had suffered for so many years. Hence, she said, your father and I are both healthy. It's just that we don't have the fate of having children. I lost my memory back then, so I don't remember my real name. This Lin Biyun was also casually given to me by your father back then. Yun Chuzhou slapped her thigh. No wonder you never gave birth to a younger brother or sister for me. This is all my father's fault. What kind of name should I give him? Why did he choose such a name? Biyun, isn't that birth control? It's already birth control. It's weird that I can still have a child. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. The Saintess was confused at first, then she shouted angrily, Xing Nv, what nonsense are you talking about? Yun Chuzhou stuck out her tongue, Mother, lower your voice. Although there is an isolation array, it would be bad if people heard it. The Saintess frowned. Xing Nv was completely crooked. After the matter with Lu Huanhua was settled, she had to teach her a lesson. She was too outspoken. Yun Chuzhou did not know that her mother was going to teach her a lesson. She said with a smile, Mother, what was your original name? Dongfang Wanqing. That's a good name, Mother. From now on, your life will be better. Yun Chuzhou said with a cheeky smile. The Saintess glared at her. All right, I'm going back to deliver medicine to your father. You go back first. Tomorrow morning, well, go check out the tunnels in the forbidden area. Sigh. Alright, in mother's heart, father is still more important than little Jiu. Since that's the case, I'll go play by myself. Yun Chujio said with a smile and skipped away. Xing Envi scolded her with a smile and got up to return to the back hall. When Xing Envi saw Yun Zhongqing, she took out a porcelain bottle and said, "Husband, this is the medicine that Lin Chu gave me. She said that it has a miraculous effect on treating cold poison. Try drinking this bottle." Yun Zhongqing was stunned. He couldn't help but feel suspicious. Even if Lin Chu could be trusted, how could such a big thing like the medicine be so hasty? Yun Zhongqing's expression was serious. "Biyun, tell me the truth. Are you hiding something from me?" When the saintess heard the name Biyun, she inexplicably thought of what Yun Chujio said. She hesitated for a moment and then said, "Husband, can you call me Wanqing in the future?" Yun Zhongqing became even more suspicious. "Biyun, what exactly happened? Why do I feel that you're acting a little strange?" "Xing Envi, there's nothing wrong. I just want to change back to my original name. If you don't want to continue calling me that, it's fine. Quickly drink the medicine." The saintess blushed slightly and didn't say much. "Biyun, if you don't tell me the truth, I can't drink this medicine. We've been married for so many years, what can't we say?" Yun Zhongqing placed the porcelain bottle on the table. Seeing this, the saintess could only tell the truth, "Xing Envi, it's not that I want to hide it from you. I'm just afraid that you'll get too excited. No matter what I say next, you have to calm down." Yun Zhongqing laughed bitterly. "Biyun, what have I not experienced in all these years? Just tell me. That Lin Chu is none other than our daughter, little Jiu." She took a face-changing pill. Lin Biyun briefly recounted Yun Chujia's story. Yun Zhongqing stood up immediately. You're saying that she's really our little Jiu?" "Husband, it's absolutely true. Not only does she have the heavenly thunder spirit root, but she also has the jade pendant that you always carry with you. She even mentioned a few things about her when she was young. She really is our daughter, little Jiu." Yun Zhongqing was so excited that he trembled slightly. "It really is little Jiu?" Little Jiu actually barged into the netherworld hall alone. And she even became the successor of the Xing Envi? The Xing Envi nodded. Just as she was about to tell Yun Zhongqing not to get too excited, Yun Zhongqing suddenly fell to the ground. His forehead was covered in cold sweat. It was obvious that the cold poison had taken effect. "Husband! Husband! How are you?" The Xing Envi was anxious and regretful. If she had known earlier, she would not have told the truth. The saintess was so anxious that she was about to cry. "Husband, do you still have the antidote that Lu Huanhua gave you? Quickly take it out and take it." Xing Envi said. Yun Zhongqing said with difficulty, "No, I don't have it anymore." Just when the saintess was extremely anxious, she saw the porcelain bottle on the table. She quickly picked it up, pulled out the cork, and fed the medicinal liquid inside to Yun Zhongqing. After drinking it, not only did Yun Zhongqing not get better, he actually fainted with a choking sound. "Husband! Husband!" The saintess was completely dumbfounded. How could the medicine given by little Jiu make it worse? Could it be that the medicine little Jiu gave was wrong? The saintess didn't have time to think too much. She carried Yun Zhongqing and rushed out. Now, she could only go to Vice Palace Master Lu to ask for the antidote to save Yun Zhongqing's life. The saintess carried Yun Zhongqing out of the back palace like a crazy Xing Envi and went straight to the exit of the saintess palace. Yun Chujio was talking to Yu Qi and the others. When she saw the saintess carrying a person out, she couldn't help but be stunned. She hurriedly ran over, opened the isolation array, and asked, "Mother, what are you doing?" The saintess' eyes were red with anxiety. "Your father fainted after eating the medicine you gave him." I'm going to ask Lu Huanhua for the antidote now. Get out of the way. If you delay any longer, your father will die. That's impossible. The pretty boy is fine even after eating it for a year. Let me take a look. Yun Chujio said hurriedly. Sheng Nv was also desperate and put Yun Zhongqing on the ground. Although Yun Chujio didn't know much about medicine, she saw that Yun Zhangqing's breathing was stable. She checked his pulse with her hand and couldn't help but feel happy. Mom, my father just fainted. It's nothing serious. Take a look yourself if you don't believe me. The saintess was stunned. She was also worried and confused. When she saw Yun Zhongqing faint just now, she did not have the time to take a closer look. She subconsciously thought that something had happened. Now that she heard Yun Chujio's words, she took a closer look and realized that Sheng Nv had fainted. As expected, Yun Zhongqing only fainted. The cold sweat on his forehead had disappeared. The saintess felt relieved and could not help but collapse on the ground. Tears fell from her eyes. Cough, cough, mother, this isolation array can only isolate sound, but the situation inside can be seen. You should at least pay attention to your cold and aloof image, Yun Chujio reminded. Sheng Nv finally reacted, carrying Yun Zhongqing and quickly returning to the rear hall. Yun Chujio touched her nose, leaving just like that. Miss Chu Chu, what happened just now? Yu Qi and the others curiously came up to her. The man that the saintess was carrying seemed to have some hidden illness. The saintess said that she was going to see Vice Palace Master Lu, but when I saw that the man was not in any serious condition, he just fainted. The saintess saw that Sheng Nv really did have some hidden illness, so she went back. The man was said to be the husband of the saintess, but very few people saw him. It was just that her husband was sick, so why did he go to see Vice Palace Master Lu? They really could not understand it. Do you know what happened? Yun Chujio asked in confusion. One of the guards said, isn't it simple? It's probably because Vice Palace Master Lu poisoned that person, so only Vice Palace Master Lu has the antidote. Vice Palace Master Liu's methods are too vicious. I was so worried about the saint just now. Sheng Nv said, yeah, I wonder if the netherworld spirit will punish Vice Palace Master Lu. This is indeed a little too much. Yun Chujio coughed and said, fortunately, I have opened the isolation array. Otherwise, if what you said just now reaches the ears of Vice Palace Master Lu, you won't be able to live anymore. Be careful in the future. Miss Chujio, thank you for your reminder, but most of the guards of the Saintly Virgin Palace don't like Vice Palace Master Lu. They won't betray us. That's right. Look at how pitiful the saintess was just now. She forced the saintess into such a state. Vice Palace Master Lu will be punished sooner or later, said Sheng Nv. Even so, you should be careful. I'm going to find other people's hiding places. Yun Chujio touched her chin. Oh my, she didn't expect her beautiful mother to have such an unexpected gain. Sure enough, people sympathized with the weak. After saying that, Yun Chujio hopped away. However, when she found the other secret guards, she sighed and told them about what happened today. When she saw the indignant expressions of the guards, Yun Chujio secretly gave herself 32 likes. On the other side, after the saintess carried Yun Zhongqing back to the rear hall, Yun Zhongqing woke up soon after Sheng Nv. Husband, how do you feel? The saintess asked anxiously. I feel more comfortable than I've ever felt in many years. Yun Zhongqing said with a smile. The saintess was finally relieved. It seems that little Jiu's medicine is very effective. I'm relieved. I was scared to death just now. I carried you to find Lu Huanhua. Fortunately, little Jiu appeared and stopped me. Biyun, is that Lin Chu Chu really little Jiu? Am I not dreaming? Yun Zhongqing felt as if he was dreaming. Although he knew that this was the truth, he still needed to verify it. The saintess could only repeat Yun Chujia's story again. Yun Zhangqing could not help but laugh loudly. Good. Good. As expected of our good daughter. Yun Zhangqing asked some more questions, and then asked in puzzlement, Biyun, you asked me to call you Wanqing previously. What's going on? Is this also related to little Jiu? The saintess couldn't help but blush. She gritted her teeth and said, Little Jiu said that Biyun is birth control. That's why we haven't had any children. Yun Zhangqing's face stiffened, and a thought flashed through his mind. His obedient daughter seemed to have grown askew. The next morning, the saintess brought Yun Chujio to the forbidden land, Shengnv. When it was time, the saintess began the worship ceremony. Shengnv kneeled on the futon respectfully and pulled Yun Chujio. Little Jiu, kneel down. Yun Chujio pouted and knelt down unwillingly. She thought to herself, that damn spirit of the netherworld is not a good thing. It's too cheap. Shengnv took out a lot of top-grade spirit stones from her storage ring and placed them on the altar. Then, she said something like praying for the spirit of the netherworld to protect her. Yun Chujio looked at the shining top-grade spirit stones on the altar and her claws felt a little itchy. Mom, will the spirit of the netherworld really take these top-grade spirit stones? Of course. Where else would those top-grade spirit stones go? Let's go and take a look at the secret passage you mentioned, Shengnv said. A thought flashed through Yun Chujio's mind, but it only lasted for a moment. When she wanted to capture it again, she couldn't remember. She could only move the altar away and bring Shengnv into the secret room. The saintess could not help but click her tongue in wonder when she went down to the secret room. She did not expect that there was such a secret room under the divine hall. Who was the one who built it? Yun Chujio followed the previous method and let the saintess stand at the place where Jin Ji stood last time. She found the enchantment and said, Beautiful mother, this is the enchantment of the tunnel. Just as the saintess was about to attack the enchantment, she heard Yun Chujio say smugly, There's no need to use a butcher's knife to kill a chicken. My beautiful mother, look at my little 9 thunderbolt needles. My little 9 thunderbolt needles are the battle needles that can break the enchantment. The saintess could only step back and watch Yun Chujio attack the enchantment with the little purple needles. Not long after, a gap was created in the enchantment. Shengnv was stunned. Yun Chujio said proudly, Beautiful mother, actually I still have the sudden rupture talisman, but that thing is too loud. Little 9's thunderbolt needle is more reliable. Shengnv casually praised her. Yun Chujio raised her tail. Beautiful mother, you'll know in the future. I'm very capable. I'm not bragging. In the Tian Yuan continent, I'm known as Little 9 Fairy. I'm also considered one of the best among my peers. The saintess' eyes twitched. Little 9, since the enchantment has been opened, let's go into the tunnel first. Although Yun Chujio had not finished bragging, she had no choice but to bring the saintess into the tunnel. After the two of them entered, the entrance to the tunnel was sealed with a loud bang. Yun Chujio had the experience from last time, so she did not panic. After taking out the night pearl, she continued to walk forward with the saintess. Shengnv. Soon, they arrived at a fork in the road. Yun Chujio pointed at it. Mother, this fork leads to a pavilion in the garden. We don't know where this one leads to. Let's go and take a look. Shengnv nodded. Okay, be careful. The two of them walked along the tunnel for another hour before they finally saw the end. Just as they were trying to find an exit, they heard a noise in front of them. The saintess and Yun Chujio looked at each other. Both of them activated their concealment talismans at the same time, and they were on full alert. Shengnv and Yun Chujio looked at each other. Yun Chujio's heart skipped a beat. The thought that flashed through her mind just now became clear, and she had a bold guess in her heart. Perhaps this tunnel was not dug by the ancestors of the beautiful woman's mother, but by outsiders. As for the purpose of digging, it was very simple. It was to go after the supreme-grade spirit stones. The supreme-grade spirit stones that disappeared previously were not taken away by the netherworld spirit, but stolen by someone else. If that was really the case, it was likely that this family had been doing this for several generations. It was a good plan. The accumulated supreme-grade spirit stones were enough to flourish a family. Just as Yun Chujio was thinking about it, the sound in front of her grew closer and closer. Then, light shone in, and there were voices of two people talking. "Father, the supreme-grade spirit stones were much less last time. Could it be that the Sheng Envy found something strange?" "Impossible. There hasn't been any problem for more than 1,000 years. How could there be a problem all of a sudden? The Sheng Envy must have been careless, so she put less spirit stones. Maybe she will make up for it this month." TSK, Father, do you think the people of the Netherworld Hall are all idiots? Do you really think that the Nether Spirit will take away those supreme-grade spirit stones? Humph. They felt that the Netherworld Spirit was omnipotent. After all, we didn't have the power of the Netherworld, so there was no need to be afraid of the so-called Netherworld Spirit. Moreover, now that Vice Palace Master Lu has turned the Netherworld Palace into a mess, the Netherworld Spirit has yet to show itself, so it's hard to say whether the Netherworld Spirit is there or not. Let's just make a fortune. As he spoke, two people walked towards Yun Chujio and the Saintess. One was in his 50s, and the other was in his 20s. They were obviously father and son, and their spiritual power levels were not even at the level of a spirit paragon, therefore, they did not notice the Sheng Envy and Yun Chujio at all. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. "Father, why did you leave so quickly? The spirit stones can't escape anyway. Besides, what if you run into the Sheng Envy? I think it's better to come back in the old days. It's a bit risky to come here on the first day of the new year," the young man complained. "The Sheng Envy is always on time. She has left long ago. What's there to be afraid of? I still feel a bit uneasy after losing so many spirit stones last time. It's better to get them first." Yun Chujio had heard enough. She gestured to the Saintess and both of them launched an attack at the same time. The father and son had low spiritual power to begin with. In addition, Yun Chujio and the Saintess launched a sneak attack, so they were restrained in one move. After Yun Chujio restrained their spiritual power, she pressed on their acupoints, then, she said with a smile, "I really admire your ancestors for coming up with such a good idea of getting something for nothing. However, you guys are also quite greedy. Why don't you just give it a try? You don't know how to quit when the time is right. People really die for money." Although the father and son did not know Yun Chujio, they still recognized the saint's attire. They were immediately scared out of their wits. "Saint, please spare my life. Saint, please spare my life." The saint was so angry that she was trembling. When she thought about how she and her ancestors were treated like fools by others, she wished that she could just slap the two people in front of her to death. Sheng Envy. Yun Chujio winked at the Saintess. The Saintess knew that Yun Chujio had many tricks up her sleeve, so she didn't say anything. Yun Chujio took out a sword and put it on the young man's neck. She said fiercely, "Tell me honestly what's going on here. If you have a good attitude, I can help you plead with the Saintess. If you play tricks, not only you, but also your family will die." If the young man had not been struck by the acupoint, he would have collapsed on the ground. He said with a trembling voice, "Please spare my life, fairy. Please spare my life. I'll tell you, I'll tell you, I'll tell you." Although the old man was more shrewd, he was now under the control of others and had no choice but to let the young man tell the truth. It turned out that the father and son's ancestor was a craftsman. This palace was renovated 1,000 years ago. When the craftsman was renovating, he accidentally found the secret room below, he also found that there was a passage in the secret room that led to the garden. Although the craftsman was very surprised, he did not say anything about it and continued to participate in the renovation. When he was working, he heard someone chatting. They said that every month on the first day of the month, they would offer a large amount of supreme-grade spirit stones to the spirit of the netherworld. He thought of the debt his family owed, and a greed arose in his heart. The craftsman took advantage of the fact that no one was paying attention to him and hid in the dark room below. Although the craftsman found that there was one person missing, he could not find the person, so he just let it go. Thus, the craftsman began to dig a secret passage leading to the outside world. Halfway through, he swept up all the supreme-grade spirit stones offered and then continued to dig a secret passage below. The craftsman spent a whole month digging a secret passage. He estimated that he had already left the netherworld hall by a sufficient distance before he began to dig upwards. Then, he took advantage of the high moon and the dark wind to dig out from within. He discovered that the exit was coincidentally on a cliff. After covering the entrance of the tunnel, he went home in high spirits. The craftsman originally only wanted to do this once. After paying off his debt, he wouldn't do it anymore. However, he wasn't satisfied. After he had squandered all the money in his hands, he did it again. After that, when he saw that nothing had happened, he became even more unscrupulous. Although he also used this money to do business later on, how could he get money so quickly? Thus, he continued to steal it, passing it down from generation to generation. This family had always lived on these top-grade spirit stones, and in the middle, they even spent a high price to buy a hidden array disc and place it at the entrance of the tunnel. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. After listening to the young man's story, Yun Chujio rolled her eyes and took out a porcelain bottle from her storage ring. She poured out 2 pills and stuffed them into their mouths. This is my exclusive Yenluo powder. If you don't have my antidote, you will die suddenly. Fairy, please spare my life. Fairy, please spare my life. The two kept begging for mercy. It's not impossible to spare your life. After all, this money is just a worldly possession. It's nothing, but the premise is that you have to be obedient. Yun Chujio held the sword and rubbed it against the young man's neck. Be obedient, be obedient. We will listen to you. What do you want us to do? Do your family members know about this secret passage? My family knows a little about it, but this secret passage is the foundation of our family. It has always been passed down to men and not to women. Only the father and son know the exact location of the secret passage. So only the two of you know the location. Then, wouldn't I be able to kill you once and for all? Yun Chujio curled her lips. The foundation of our family? How shameless. Fairy, please spare us. Fairy, please spare us. We will never dare to come in again. The father and son were so frightened that their faces turned pale. They kept begging for mercy. Sigh, I am the most soft-hearted person. Listening to what you said, I am quite pitiful. However, if I let you go just like that, I cannot guarantee that you will tell others about this secret. What do you think we should do? Yun Chujio sighed and said. Fairy, fairy, we swear. We swear on our inner demons that we won't tell anyone about this. The two of them could not wait to start swearing, making the consequences of breaking the oath extremely serious. Yun Chujio rolled her eyes. Since you guys have sworn, well, let you guys off for now. Take us out first. Yes. Yes. Yun Chujio opened their acupoints and brought the two of them to the exit. The young man found a hidden button and pressed it. A huge rock moved away. Yun Chujio climbed up and found that it was a cave. The cave entrance was covered with rocks and vines. It was indeed very hidden. Come here and draw a map of this place. If you make a mistake, I will twist off your head and kick it like a ball. Yun Chujio said to the young man fiercely. The young man was so scared that his hands were trembling. Not to mention drawing a map, even the lines could not be drawn straight. Yun Chujio kicked him away and asked the middle-aged man to draw a new map. The middle-aged man was slightly better. Although he was trembling a little, he still drew a map. Yun Chujio looked around and found that this place was about 100 li away from the River of Forgetfulness City and less than 30 li away from the Netherworld Palace. You can go now. Yun Chujio said lightly after she put away the map. The father and son ran a few steps and immediately turned back. Fairy, please give us the antidote. Yun Chujio said with a smile, don't worry. The Yamas Bane will not act up immediately. You can still live for 5 or 6 days. It's enough for you to arrange the funeral. The father and son were about to cry. They kneeled on the ground and begged for mercy. Fairy, please spare my life. Fairy, please spare my life. It's not impossible for you to want the antidote, but you have to do something for me. Fairy, let alone 1, even 100 is fine. Just tell me. When they heard that they didn't have to die, they naturally promised. Hurry to the River of Forgetfulness City now and wait at the bell tower at the south of the city. Someone will naturally look for you. When the time comes, just listen to his instructions. I will ask him to give you the antidote, Yun Chujio said lightly. Although the father and son were skeptical, they did not dare to say much and could only stagger away. The saintess was about to ask Yun Chujio why she did this when she heard Yun Chujio say, Mother, we have wasted a lot of time. Let's go back first. Otherwise, that old bastard Vice Palace Master Lu will be suspicious. Hearing Yun Chujio's words, the saintess could only suppress the doubts in her heart. She followed Yun Chujio back to the cave. After covering the entrance, they returned to the tunnel. After the two of them left the forbidden area, Yun Chujio looked around. Sure enough, she saw a few sneaky figures. She couldn't help but sneer in her heart. They'll let you guys jump around for a few days. Yun Chujio deliberately raised her voice and said, Saintess, I'm really too stupid. It took you so long to learn the consecration ceremony of Sheng Nv. Sheng Nv said lightly, although your comprehension is a little low, you can still learn it if you practice hard. Come with me, and I'll give you some pointers. Yes. Yun Chujio followed Sheng Nv to the main hall. Sheng Nv asked the maid to serve lunch and sent them away. Little Jiu, why did you let those two people go? If they go out and talk nonsense, wouldn't it be bad? We should kill such petty people. Sheng Nv said fiercely after opening the isolation array. Mom, I think the ancestors of those two people are really smart. They actually thought of such a way to make money. I really admire them. Yun Chujio said with a smile. The saintess glared at her. Her own spiritual stones had been stolen, how could she admire a thief? Is there something wrong with their heads? Mom, I'm joking with you. I kept them for a purpose. Think about it. The entrance of the tunnel is outside. When they come in with our reinforcements and come out from the garden, wouldn't it be undetectable? This is simply a great opportunity given to us by the heavens. I have already sent a voice transmission talisman to my Uncle Master. My Uncle Master will send someone to keep an eye on those two people. Moreover, there might be a lot of spirit stones in their house. Those are all from our house. I will get someone to get those spirit stones back. As for whether these two people should be killed or kept, let's see their performance. Yun Chujio blinked her eyes and said. If it wasn't for the fact that the two of them were still useful, this guy would have killed them long ago. Damn it, he actually had designs on our house's spirit stones. He was simply courting death. Sheng Nv finally came to a realization and couldn't help but sigh in her heart. Little Jiu was really smart. She could think of many things in one matter. As a mother, she was really inferior to her. Mother, now we're waiting for news from the Jin family. We'll have a conclusion in a few days. Whether the Jin family agrees to cooperate or not, we have to take action. If we drag this out, that old bastard, Vice Palace Master Lu, will definitely notice something is wrong. Mother will listen to you. What do you think we should do first? Xing Envy had already regarded Yun Chujio as her backbone. Mother, can you estimate how many people in the Saintly Virgin Palace are yours? How many people are in the Netherworld Palace? How many are neutral? Let's first estimate the situation between the enemy and ourselves before we discuss the specific actions. Just as the mother and daughter were discussing, Yun Chujio's voice transmission talisman started to vibrate. Yun Chujio thought it was Jin Ji or the old man from the Heaven Lake. She didn't expect it to be Di Biming's voice transmission talisman. Di Biming only said one sentence, "Little Jiu, I will arrive at the River of Forgetfulness City tomorrow." This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Yun Chujio could not help but stomp her feet. This pretty boy was really disobedient. Why did he come all of a sudden? However, this guy's heart was filled with sweetness. For a pretty boy to come here despite the danger, he must be worried about her safety. The saintess saw that Yun Chujio's expression was strange, so she asked, "Xiao Jiu, who sent the Xing Nv? What happened?" Yun Chujio's thick-skinned face turned red for a rare moment. "Your son-in-law is here. He will arrive at the River of Forgetfulness City tomorrow." This pretty boy is really disobedient. The saintess was stunned at first, then said coldly, "That's not bad. It would be a problem if he didn't come." The saintess paused for a moment and then said, "Xing Nv, although you two like each other, the name of this pretty boy is really unsightly. Don't call him that in the outside world in the future." Yun Chujio stuck out her tongue. "Mom, I know. Although your son-in-law's spiritual power is limited, it should still be quite powerful. We have a greater chance of winning." Xing Nv nodded and became excited. After so many years of suffering, they finally saw the light of dawn. Yun Chujio's voice transmission talisman vibrated again. This time, it was Jin Ji's voice transmission talisman. After Yun Chujio sent her spiritual sense into it, she could not help but be overjoyed. "Mother, the Jin family has agreed to cooperate." The saintess was also overjoyed. "If that's the case, there's no time to lose. Let's start moving." Xing Nv said when Yun Chujio and Jin Ji agreed to meet 3 days later. The Jin family's secret guards surrounded the Netherworld Palace. At the same time, the secret guards of the Temple of Immortals entered the Saintess Palace through a secret passage and cooperated with the Jin family. "Mother, I have one more thing to do." The Saintess asked in confusion, "What is it?" Xing Nv asked, "I have been baiting for so many days, it is naturally time to reel in the net." Yun Chujio's eyes flashed with a trace of craftiness. The saintess vaguely guessed that Yun Chujio was going to incite the secret guards to betray Xing Nv, so she instructed, "Those secret guards are a mix of fish and dragons, you must be careful." "Mother, don't worry. I'm the best at doing this kind of thing, I guarantee that nothing will go wrong." Yun Chujio said and jumped out of the main hall. Yun Chujio quickly found Yu Qi and the other 5, "Do you have any dreams?" Yu Qi and the other 5 were dumbfounded. "What kind of dreams do we have? What kind of madness did Miss Chu Chu have today?" "Miss Chu Chu, we cultivators naturally want to have a higher level of spirit energy. Besides that, it's not bad to be promoted and get rich, because with money, we can better support our cultivation. Miss Chu Chu, hee, my dream is to marry a wife. It's a pity that I like her, but she doesn't like me. Who asked me to be a mere guard?" Yun Chujio could not help but be secretly happy. This Yu Qi was the guard that worked with Zhou Yinghan. It looked like he had a deep affection for a woman. The other Yu Yuan and Yu Li were Mo Wanwan and Lu Qin's guards. This was not bad. In the future, they could pair up and work without tiring. Right now, there's an opportunity in front of you. Not only will it let you rise in rank and make a fortune, but the person you miss will also come to your side. As for whether or not you can get him, that will depend on your own luck, Yun Chujio said mysteriously. Yu Qi and the other two immediately became excited. Miss Chu Chu, is what you said true? What opportunity? What do you need us to do? Yun Chujio could not help but curse in her heart. This beauty trap was really useful. It was even more useful than the bait she had used previously. She lowered her voice and said, "The Saintess has already allied with several forces to kill Vice Palace Master Lu in one go. As long as you listen to my arrangements, I guarantee that the 5 of you will be at least the guardians of the Netherworld Hall in the future." Although Yu Qi and the others were very surprised, they already had a vague guess in their hearts, therefore, after a moment, they regained their composure. Miss Chu Chu, is what you said true? The Netherworld Hall and even the Netherworld continent are controlled by Vice Palace Master Lu. Will there really be a force to help the Saintess? Of course there are. There are many people like you who have a righteous heart. Yun Chujio started to get excited without a trace. Sure enough, after hearing Yun Chujio's words, Yu Qi and the other 3 were stunned. They subconsciously straightened their backs and said, "Miss Chu Chu, this is a matter of losing one's head, so we still need to discuss it. But don't worry, we will definitely not leak the news." "No problem, then you can discuss it. I will come back to look for you tomorrow. If you don't go all out, you will most likely be a secret guard for the rest of your lives. Moreover, Vice Palace Master Lu has vowed to attack the Tian Yuan continent. If you are not careful, you might die on the battlefield. Whether you will live or die or get married and have children is up to you." After Yun Chujio said that, she left. She hopped away with a smile. Yu Qi and the others looked at Yun Chujio's back and felt extremely conflicted in their hearts. Should they give it their all or not? After being silent for a long while, Yu Qi gritted his teeth. "Damn it, I've decided to work with Miss Chu Chu. At most, he'll just die. It's still better than living such a cowardly life. Furthermore, he'll be able to see my Ying Shui." The other 4 almost vomited. "Return your Ying Shui. She doesn't even know what you're thinking, alright? You're really overthinking things." However, they also felt that Yu Qi's words made sense. At worst, they would just die. Perhaps, they could fight for a bright future. Moreover, this was to help the Saintess uphold justice. Even if they died, they would still have a good reputation. Therefore, when they saw Yun Chujio the next day, the 5 of them expressed their willingness to work with Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio said with a smile, "That's right. If it weren't for our good relationship, would such a good thing be your turn? You have also stayed in the Saintess Palace for a period of time. You should know more or less who is the direct descendant of Vice Palace Master Lu and who is the fence-sitter that you can fight for, right? What you need to do now is to win over your best friends and get them to kill those direct descendants of yours when the day after tomorrow comes. As for the 5 of you, I will arrange an important task for you." Hearing Yun Chujio's words, Yu Qi and the other 3 immediately felt that they were highly valued. They were very excited. "Miss Chujio, don't worry. We will definitely do it beautifully. It's best to be safe. Other than your best friends, don't alert anyone else, understand?" Although Yun Chujio had also placed other bait, those people were not enough to be trusted. When the time came to fight, it would not be too late to fight. Yu Qi and the other 3 nodded in agreement. They were very excited. It was time to make a name for themselves. They never dreamed that there would be such a day. Even if they could not succeed in the end, it was not a wasted life. Yun Chujio went to the Sheng Nv again. "Mother, we are going to take action the day after tomorrow. Your direct descendants don't need to do anything else. They only need to protect you and father. Leave the rest to me." Keep these sudden rupture talismans. If there is a strong enemy, blow him up. The Sheng Nv looked at the big sacks on the ground and was a little confused. Little Jiu, why did you get a few sacks? Yun Chujiu giggled. After opening one of the sacks, she pointed inside and said, Mother, these are sudden rupture talismans. You can keep them. They are all made by our family. They are not worth anything. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Sheng Nv thought that something was wrong with her ears. What do you think is in this? Yun Chujiu giggled and took out a huge stack of burst talismans from the sacks. Burst talismans. Sheng Nv took 2 steps forward and grabbed it. This huge stack was really a burst talisman. Moreover, it was a super-grade burst talisman. Sheng Nv felt that her brain was not enough. She stiffly looked into the sack and saw that it was filled with talismans. Sheng Nv casually grabbed a bunch and took a look. It was a super-grade burst talisman. He grabbed another bunch and it was a super-grade burst talisman. Little Jiu, what you have here are all super-grade burst talismans. Sheng Nv could not believe her eyes. That's right. They are all in those sacks. I still have a few hundred sacks in my storage ring. When I first came here, I had already thought about it. If I really have no other choice, I will blow the Netherworld Palace to the ground, Yun Chujiu said darkly. Sheng Nv stumbled and almost fell to the ground. A few hundred sacks of burst talismans. Or supreme-grade burst talismans. Oh God, was it because she was inexperienced, or was little Jiu too perverted? Little Jiu, where did you get so many transcendent-grade sudden rupture talismans? Did Di Baiming give them to you? I drew them for fun when I had nothing to do. I can draw other things, but this sudden rupture talisman is more convenient to use. Mother, you can play with these first. I'll give them to you when they're used up. There's plenty of this damn thing. Yun Chujiu said smugly. Sheng Nv looked at the superior-grade burst talisman in the sack and felt that her worldview had been refreshed. When did the superior-grade burst talisman become a damn thing? Not to mention the superior-grade burst talisman, even ordinary burst talismans could not be bought with money. Sheng Nv took a long time to recover from her shock before putting the big sacks into her storage ring. Sheng Nv had intended to tell Yun Chujiu to be careful, but when she thought of the hundreds of sacks that this little pervert had mentioned, she felt that it was better not to say anything. Even if she had to be careful, it should be others who should be careful. Beautiful mother, remember to give my father 2 sacks so that they won't bully him. Just tell them that I gave them to him as a gift, Yun Chujiu reminded Sheng Nv before they parted. Sheng Nv nodded and returned to the back hall to see Yun Zhangqing. Husband, little Jiu gave you some gifts. Gifts? What gifts? The war is about to start, and this little girl still has the time to give me gifts. Although Yun Zhangqing said this, he was looking forward to it. Nothing, it's just some talismans. Sheng Nv decided to let him feel some shock. After drinking little Jiu's medicine, his body was much better, and nothing would happen to him. Ah, so it's talismans. I heard from you that little Jiu is very talented in drawing talismans. What talismans did she give me? Yun Zhangqing didn't know that his wife had already been blackened by his mischievous daughter. Sheng Nv calmly took out a stack of superior-grade burst talismans and handed it to Yun Zhangqing. Although Yun Zhangqing had been sick all these years, he had always been cultivating and reading books. His knowledge was no longer the same as before, therefore, he immediately recognized that this was a superior-grade burst talisman. This is a superior-grade burst talisman. There are 20 to 30 of them in this stack, right? Little Jiu drew them all by herself? Yun Zhangqing asked in surprise. The saintess nodded. And these 2 big sacks were also given to you by little Jiu. Xing Envi said, "What's in these sacks?" Yun Zhangqing couldn't help but feel puzzled when he saw the sacks that the saintess threw on the ground. He had never heard of anyone giving gifts in sacks. Could it be that little Jiao gave me spirit rice and spirit noodles? Xing Envi revealed a bewitching smile. "Husband, you'll know when you open it and take a look." Yun Zhangqing wasn't sure what Xing Envi was up to. He walked to a sack and opened it. He was dumbfounded. Yun Zhangqing rubbed his eyes and looked again. It was still full of super-grade burst talismans. Yun Zhangqing opened another sack and it was still filled with transcendent-grade burst talismans. After a long while, Yun Zhangqing said, These are all given to me by little Jiao. Where did she buy so many transcendent-grade burst talismans? The saintess' eyes twitched. Your daughter said that they are her own property and not worth much. There are still several hundred sacks in her storage ring. Xing Envi said. Yun Zhangqing sat down on the ground and asked in disbelief, hundreds of sacks. Wan Qing, you must be joking, right? Ever since the saintess told him about the Biyun and birth control incident, although she knew that Yun Chujiao was just making things up, she still felt a little awkward. Therefore, Yun Zhangqing changed his name to Xing Envi. Seeing that Yun Zhangqing was so shocked that he was sitting on the ground, Xing Envi felt a strange balance in her heart. It seemed that it was not that she was inexperienced, but that little Jiao was too abnormal. Your daughter also said that when she first came to the Netherworld continent, she had already planned it out. If she really had no other choice, she would use those hundreds of sacks of talismans to flatten the Netherworld palace. We are not raising a daughter, but a little monster. Yun Zhangqing couldn't help but laugh loudly. Who cares if she's a monster or something? In short, our little Jiao is very powerful. With a daughter like this, what more could a husband ask for? The husband and wife were both gratified, but they also felt very guilty. They felt that they had truly let down their daughter. Not only did they not raise her up, but they also made her put herself in danger to save them. Husband, I've already thought it through. Even if we really do have other children in the future, this Netherworld palace will be left to little Jiao to inherit. Firstly, it can be considered to make up for our debt. Secondly, little Jiao is also suitable to be the palace master of this Netherworld palace. She's much stronger than me as a mother. Yes, little Jiao is indeed resourceful. It's good to leave the Netherworld palace to her. This way, we will have time to go out and take a walk. It's been hard on you all these years. Yun Chujiao did not know that her parents had already prepared to put a small splint on her body. This fellow was currently chatting on the phone with Di Biming. He was talking about the voice transmission talisman porridge. Prince Charming, why are you here all of a sudden? Are you missing me so much that you can't eat and can't sleep at night? Yun Chujiao asked shamelessly. Di Biming's deep voice came from the voice transmission talisman, N your head. It's always like this. Can't you say something sweet? Something about the moon representing my heart. Prince Charming, how much do you miss me? Little guy, let's see how you will respond this time, N. Yun Chujia's little heart was beating wildly. What would the pretty boy say? Would he say that he really missed her? Or would he say that his heart was aching? Reality proved that she was thinking too much. Di Biming's answer was still very concise. Just like you said. Yun Chujiao was so angry that she almost fainted. She picked up the voice transmission talisman and roared, Di Biming, if you don't say something nice to me today, my love boat with you will capsize. After a long while, the voice transmission talisman started to tremble again. Yun Chujiao smiled smugly. Little girl, I can't cure you. Qing Qing Zijin, you are so carefree in my heart. Even if you don't let me go, Zi Ning won't say anything. Guan Guan Ju Ju, in the state of the river. A graceful lady, a gentleman's dream. Jian Jiatsang, white dew as frost. The so-called woman, is in the side of the water. Yun Chuzhou was so angry that she almost jumped down from the bed. Pretty boy, you are really good, not a word out, damn it, you changed the poetry contest for me. Seeing that Di Biming was still reciting poems, Yun Chuzhou shouted angrily, "Scram!" Then, the whole world fell silent. Yun Chuzhou was so angry that she rolled on the bed. This unromantic gigolo. After she finished her business, she would see how she would deal with him. On the other side, Di Biming was holding a book of poetry in his left hand and a voice transmission talisman in his right hand. His face was stiff. He felt that he was also very innocent, okay? He spoke less, he despised it. He spoke more, he despised it. There was simply no way out. Just as Di Biming was stunned, An Feng's voice came from outside the door, "Your Excellency, I have something to report." Di Biming quickly put away the book of songs and the voice transmission talisman, then said with a dark face, "Come in." An Feng felt a low pressure as soon as he entered the room, and he had an ominous feeling in his heart. He decided to cut to the chase. "Your Excellency, I have checked the secret passage with the spies here, and I have sent people to guard the surroundings." Di Biming nodded. "We must guard it strictly, and we must not lose anything." "Yes. I will take my leave." An Feng heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, His Excellency was not mad. An Feng turned around and was about to leave when he heard Di Biming say, "Stop." An Feng grinned and turned around. "Your Excellency, what are your orders?" Di Biming gritted his teeth. "If a girl asks you to say something nice, what should you say?" An Feng knew that he could not avoid this, so he could only ask, "Your Excellency, did Ninth Miss ask you to say it?" "Then what did you say?" Di Biming's face stiffened, and he took out the book of songs. "I picked a few poems with good meanings and read them to little Nine. She was actually angry. It's really unreasonable." An Feng staggered and almost fell to the ground. "Your Excellency, if you want to show off your literary talent, it's fine if you read one poem, but you actually read several. Do you think you're participating in a poetry contest?" Just as An Feng was thinking about it, he heard Di Biming shout unhappily, "Why aren't you speaking? Are you mute?" An Feng's heart was on the verge of collapse. The other party's secret guards were in charge of killing people and stealing goods, but this was great. He was practically omnipotent, and he even knew how to answer questions with emotions. "Your Excellency, the Ninth Miss only asked you to say some sweet words. I miss you very much, I love you, and I can't live without you." "Your poem is too insincere," An Feng said after some consideration. "Humph. What I said is insincere. What you said is insincere. I'm also confused. What do you know as a single person? Go down." Di Biming said with disdain. Tears streamed down An Feng's face. "Your Excellency, is it really okay for you to discriminate against single people like this? When the matter here is over, the baby will also have to leave the single family. Leave the single family. Leave the single family. Say the important thing 3 times. After Di Biming chased An Feng away, he decided to try according to what An Feng said. If it didn't work, he would send An Feng to the northernmost land to keep an eye on the Lan family. Achoo! Achoo! An Feng, who had just walked out, sneezed a few times. He couldn't help but wonder who was scolding him. Could it be His Majesty? Di Biming took out his voice transmission talisman and hesitated for a moment. Then, he gritted his teeth and said with a red face, "Little Jiu, I miss you. I feel that without you, I have no meaning to live." After Di Biming finished speaking, he felt that his integrity had been abandoned by him. It was really too embarrassing. On the other side, Yun Chuzhou was so angry that she was tossing and turning on the bed like a little bastard. When she saw the voice transmission talisman tremble and sent her spiritual sense in, she heard Di Biming's deep voice. Yun Chujiu could not help but tremble when she heard Di Biming's mushy words. Oh my God, normally, shouldn't such sweet words sound very sweet? Why did she feel so awkward when she heard the pretty boy's words? Yun Chujiu listened to it again and felt that her entire person was not good. Not only was there no sweetness in her heart, but she also felt strange. It was as if Di Biming had been possessed by someone. Ahem, my Prince Charming, it's better for you not to say these things in the future. I think it's better for you to remain as you are. Yun Chujiu said with a stiff face. On the other side, Di Biming felt as if his heart was going to explode. If I don't say it, you will just let me say it. If I say it, you will despise me. What exactly are you trying to do? Yun Chujiu also knew that there was a limit to being a demon, so she quickly added, My Prince Charming, from now on, let me be the one to say these sweet words. You just need to be responsible for your actions. I miss you so much. Come, give me a kiss. After hearing Yun Chujiu's words, Di Biming's disappointment was instantly swept away. The pink bubbles in his heart kept popping up, and he wished that he could immediately meet his sweetheart and have a good time. The two of them chatted for a while more, until Yun Chujiu said that she was tired, then they each put away their voice transmission talismans. In the blink of an eye, it was the night of the appointment. Yu Qi and the other 5 people were not on duty today, so they deliberately switched shifts with someone else. Moreover, the dark guards patrolling today were all Yu Qi and the others' best friends, so Yun Chujiu arrived at the back garden without any obstruction. Yu Qi and the other 3 were very puzzled. It was already midnight, so what was Miss Chu Chu doing in the back garden? Did she have to admire the flowers before the battle? What the hell was wrong with her? Yun Chujiu pointed at the pavilion with the secret passage and said, Yu Qi and I will go to that pavilion. The 4 of you are responsible for guarding and don't let anyone get close. Although the 5 of them did not understand, they still nodded in agreement. Since they had already boarded the pirate ship, they could only listen to the little pervert. Yun Chujiu brought Yu Qi into the pavilion. Yun Chujiu sat calmly on the stone bench and even took out a plate of pastries. It's still early. Eat some. Yu Qi was dumbfounded. Are you crazy? At this time, you still want to eat? Yun Chujiu did not bother with him. She ate very sweetly. She had to work hard later. How could she not be full? Finally, the sound of knocking came from under the stone table. Yu Qi was shocked. Just as he was about to speak, Yun Chujiu made a gesture of silence. Help me move this stone table away. Although Yu Qi was confused, he did not dare to delay. He quickly moved the stone table away with Yun Chujiu. Then, he saw a person jump up from inside. That person wore a black mask. Although his face could not be seen clearly, the imposing manner of the superior almost made Yu Qi kneel on the ground. When Yun Chujiu saw the person, she immediately threw herself into his arms. Prince Charming, you're finally here. Yu Qi was even more confused. What the hell was a Prince Charming? Could it be an emissary from the Netherworld spirit sect? Why did the emissary appear from underground? Yu Qi felt that his brain was not enough. What he saw next was even more confusing. He saw people jumping up from below. 1, 2, 10, 50. Yu Qi only had one thought in his mind. Oh God, Miss Chu Chu actually dug a secret tunnel. How did she do it? In the end, there were 300 to 400 people who came up through the tunnel. Although their spiritual power was not particularly high, the murderous aura from their bodies made people feel a chill down their spine. Yu Qi was initially a little worried that the operation this time would not succeed. Now that he saw these people, especially that man, he instantly felt more confident. It would definitely succeed. Seeing that no one else was coming up, Yun Chujio ordered 2 secret guards to carry the stone table back into the distance. Prince Charming, there are still people down there, right? If the situation is not good, we at least have a way out. Don't worry. Not only are there people down there, I have also arranged people at the entrance of the cave. There's no chance of failure, Di Baiming said in a deep voice. The secret guards of the Temple of Immortals were initially puzzled. It was strange. Why was our lord so close to this woman from the Netherworld Palace? However, when they heard Yun Chujio call him Prince Charming, they had an epiphany. It turned out that the 9th Miss had disguised herself. TSK, the 9th Miss was really not human. She had actually mixed herself into the Netherworld Palace. Moreover, it seemed that she was doing quite well. Otherwise, there would not have been guards following her. This secret passage might have been discovered by the 9th Miss. How amazing! Yun Chujio looked at the time. There was still an hour before midnight. Yu Qi, bring us to the dormitory of the secret guards. Yes. Everyone quickly arrived at the dormitory area of the secret guards. After surrounding the dormitory area, Yun Chujio gave Yu Qi a look. Yu Qi said, brothers, come out for a while. Something good has happened. Yu Kai's voice was not loud, but it was late at night. In addition, these secret guards were very alert. Lights quickly lit up in the room, and one after another, secret guards came out. When the secret guards saw the situation outside, they could not help but be a little confused. Yu Qi, what does this mean? Didn't you say that something good has happened? Miss Chujio, are you here too? Yun Chujio nodded. Seeing that everyone had arrived. Then, she coughed lightly and said, everyone, we are all old acquaintances. I won't beat around the bush anymore. All these years, Vice Palace Master Lu had gone against Xing Envy's wishes. Not only did he imprison the Saintess, but he had also repeatedly invaded the Tianyuan continent, disregarding everyone's life and death. The Saintess could not stand it anymore and decided to join forces with a few major forces to eradicate Vice Palace Master Lu, this malignant tumor. Tonight was the day of the operation. The people you saw were only a part of the forces. There were even more people waiting outside. When the time came, we would work together from the inside and the outside. We would definitely be able to capture Vice Palace Master Lu and his best friends in one fell swoop. Originally, you could be considered as Vice Palace Master Liu's henchman. However, after interacting with each other these past few days, I felt that all of you were forced. Therefore, I pleaded with the Holy Maiden. As long as you submit to the Holy Maiden now. Let bygones be bygones. Moreover, all of you will be the backbone of the Netherworld Hall in the future. Your future will be bright. Where do you want to go? Just state your stance. Yun Chujio had used all her threats and enticements. Those people had already been mostly instigated by Yun Chujio. Now that they saw the situation, most of them expressed their willingness to submit. A few of the secret guards took out their voice transmission talismans and were about to send a message, but they were immediately killed by Enfeng and his men. Damn it, this baby is taking it out on you. Seeing this, the secret guards of the Netherworld Hall became even more afraid to resist. Yun Chujio saw that the situation was going smoothly. She sent a voice transmission talisman to Jin Ji. Beauty Jin Ji, I have already taken down the Saintly Virgin Palace. In an hour, when I cause a ruckus inside, you can take the opportunity to launch a general attack. Jin Ji was anxiously waiting for news outside the Netherworld Palace. After receiving Yun Chujio's voice transmission talisman, she immediately told her father, the head of the Jin family, Jin Mantang. Jin Mantang was so excited that he was slightly trembling. The future of the Jin family was all placed on tonight. However, Lin Chu had taken down the Saintly Virgin Palace so quickly, which meant that she still had some ability. She would definitely win tonight. After Yun Chujio sent a voice transmission talisman to Jin Ji, she led everyone to the exit of the Saintly Virgin Palace. The Saintly Virgin Palace and Yun Zhongqing were waiting there with their men. Yun Chujio could sense that Di Baiming, who was beside her, was tensed up. He was walking stiffly. This fellow could not help but feel happy in his heart. Was the gigolo nervous because he wanted to meet his mother-in-law? Di Baiming was very nervous. Although he tried his best to calm down, he was still a little stiff. He walked to the Saintess and Yun Zhongqing and bowed, Xing NV, Xing NV. Although the Saintess and Yun Zhongqing wanted to interrogate Xing NV, but the time and place were not allowed, so they just nodded and greeted Xing NV. Yun Chujio snickered and then said to the Saintess, "We will act according to the original plan and catch them off guard." The Saintess nodded and said to the people behind her, "From now on, you will listen to Xing NV's arrangements." "Yes. Catch the leader first. After we rush out, we will go straight to Vice Palace Master Liu's courtyard." Yun Chujio stopped laughing and her aura suddenly changed. Whether it was the Saintess, Yun Zhongqing, or the secret guards, they were all shocked. In their impression, Yun Chujio was a cheerful little monster. They didn't expect that once she became serious, she would actually become so imposing. Xing NV, she was even more imposing than the Saintess. The crowd was stunned by Yun Chujio's imposing aura. They held their breaths and focused their attention as they followed Yun Chujio to rush out. The entrance of the Saintly Virgin Palace to the Hall of the Netherworld was guarded by a team of guards. As it had been safe and sound for so many years, they were very lazy. Only 2 people were left to watch the night while the rest went to find a place to sleep. Therefore, Yun Chujio and the others killed the 2 guards silently and then headed straight for Vice Palace Master Liu's courtyard. The Palace Master had a special sleeping palace. Vice Palace Master Liu might be guilty, or he might not have a proper name. Therefore, he did not stay in the sleeping palace. Instead, he chose a large courtyard and stayed there after renovating it. When Yun Chujio and the others arrived at Vice Palace Master Liu's courtyard, the guards who were guarding the courtyard realized that something bad had happened. They issued a sharp warning and the guards from all over rushed over. Vice Palace Master Liu also jumped out of the house when he heard the noise. When he saw the Saintess who was standing at the front, he understood a little. However, when he saw Yun Chujio, he was so angry that he was trembling. This Lin Chu Chu was actually an ingrate. "Lin Chu Chu, I treated you well. You actually helped the Saintess to deal with me?" Xing NV asked Vice Palace Master Liu, "This matter is not my fault. A kind person like me naturally can't stand to see you bullying the Saintess. The Saintess is the true master of this Netherworld Palace. You are just a scoundrel who has taken over the nest of the magpie. Now, the master doesn't want to indulge you. Are you going to surrender obediently or let me kill you?" Yun Chujio crossed her arms, shaking his toes, he said arrogantly. "Humph. With just a few of you. Since you're courting death, I don't have to worry about anything. Go." Vice Palace Master Liu saw that Yun Chujio and the others only had a few hundred people, so he did not care at all. Di Baiming took the lead and rushed toward Vice Palace Master Liu. He would not admit that he wanted to show off in front of his future parents-in-law. Vice Palace Master Liu saw Di Baiming rushing over and could not help but feel a little suspicious. Who was this person? Although his spiritual power seemed to be around the 5th level of the Supreme Spirit Realm, his aura was really overbearing. Where did that slut Dongfang Wanqing find a helper? Who are you? What benefits did Dongfang Wanqing promise you? As long as you surrender obediently, I will let bygones be bygones. Vice Palace Master Liu saw Di Baiming's imposing aura and wanted to persuade him to surrender. Di Baiming did not reply. He thought to himself, "The Saintess has given me a good wife, do you have one?" Vice Palace Master Liu saw that Di Baiming did not speak and thought that he was wavering. He then said, "There are only a few hundred of you. My netherworld hall has thousands of secret guards. You have no chance of winning. If you know what's good for you, quickly surrender. Before Vice Palace Master Lu could finish his sentence, the sound of fighting could be heard from outside the Netherworld Palace. Dharma Protector Zhao's voice came from Vice Palace Master Liu's voice transmission talisman, Palace Master. We are surrounded by the Jin family's guards. The Jin family has rebelled. Vice Palace Master Liu's head buzzed. Before he could reply, Di Biming had already launched a spiritual power attack at him. A huge ice dragon pounced on him. Vice Palace Master Lu hurriedly dodged. Di Biming and Vice Palace Master Lu were entangled in a fight. Although Di Biming's spiritual power was limited in the Netherworld continent, his cultivation base at the 5th level of the Supreme Being realm was not low. Vice Palace Master Lu could not gain any advantage for the time being. Dongfang Wanqing, you bitch. You actually colluded with the Jin family. Vice Palace Master Lu cursed as he fought with Di Biming. Yo, Vice Palace Master Lu, you have wronged the Sheng NV, and the Jin family hookup is not Sheng NV but me. Do you remember Jin Ji? I don't know her, we're best friends. It's all thanks to you. If it weren't for your selection of Sheng NV's successor, I wouldn't have known Jin Ji. It's all you're doing. Yun Chujiu bared her little white teeth, she said smugly. Vice Palace Master Lu was so angry that he gritted his teeth. Lin Chujiu. You swore a poison oath in front of me. Aren't you afraid of being struck by lightning? Yun Chujiu pointed at the sky with a smile. The heavens have eyes. Even if they were to strike you, they would still strike you, a heartless bastard. After Yun Chujiu was done being angry, Vice Palace Master Lu turned to the guards and said, all of you listen to me. You are now trapped inside and outside. Those people at the border have also been trapped by the people of the Tianyuan continent. If you want to live, surrender obediently. Moreover, the Saintess is the master acknowledged by the spirit of the Netherworld. If you don't want to be punished by the spirit of the Netherworld, then surrender obediently. I guarantee that we won't let bygones be bygones. Other than a portion of Vice Palace Master Liu's direct descendants, the attitude of the rest of the guards was somewhat relaxed. They were just trying to make a living. It was the same for everyone. Seeing that Vice Palace Master Liu's side was at a disadvantage, naturally, when the tree fell, the monkeys would scatter. Vice Palace Master Lu was so angry that he gritted his teeth. He wanted to stop Yun Chujiu from continuing to incite his subordinates. However, Di Biming was very difficult to deal with and there was no way he could get rid of him. Who was this person? Why was this ice dragon so difficult to deal with? Wait, ice dragon? Could it be Di Biming? This. How was this possible? Vice Palace Master Lu looked at the secret guards again. The aura on their bodies was extremely similar to that of the secret guards of the Hall of Immortals. Furthermore, there were not many of Dongfang Wanqing's direct descendants. These people must be from the Hall of Immortals. Di Biming. How dare you collude with Dongfang Wanqing to subvert our Netherworld Palace? Everyone, watch carefully. This person is Di Biming from the Hall of Immortals of the Tianyuan continent. Those people are all secret guards of the Hall of Immortals. Don't be deceived by him. Dongfang Wanqing actually colluded with the Hall of Immortals to deal with our own people. This slut's crime cannot be pardoned. Vice Palace Master Lu shouted loudly, there was a hint of excitement in his voice. With this flaw, those secret guards would definitely switch sides. As expected, when those secret guards heard Vice Palace Master Liu's words, they immediately became restless. After all, no matter what Vice Palace Master Lu did, this was still an internal matter of the Netherworld continent. If the Temple of Immortals were to intervene, what would happen? When Vice Palace Master Lu saw this, he was stunned, he could not help but be overjoyed. Everyone, now is the time for us to unite against the outside world. The Saintess has colluded with the Temple of Immortals. She is not worthy to be the Saintess of our Temple of Immortals. Hurry up and take them down with me. Xing Envy said this chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. The Saintess and Yun Zhongqing were a little nervous. Xing Envy. If they had known this would happen, they wouldn't have let Di Baiming make a move. What would they do if they were exposed? Di Baiming's heart was like a beeping dog. He had wanted to show off in front of his future parents-in-law, but now it had backfired. If this matter was messed up, my daughter-in-law would be ruined. Damn it, it's all this Vice Palace Master Liu's fault. I'll kill you. Di Baiming stepped up his attack, but his spiritual power was limited. In addition, Vice Palace Master Liu had used the power of the Netherworld, so there was no way to kill him. Yu Qi and the others felt even more complicated. They naturally wanted to kill Vice Palace Master Liu, but the Saintess actually colluded with the people of the Temple of Immortals. This was really unacceptable. At this moment, Yun Chujiu laughed crisply. Everyone looked at her in confusion. They thought to themselves, could it be that Lin Chujiu had suffered too much and had gone mad? But that was also true. She had originally thought that it was Kuang Fu Jingyi, but she did not expect that the Saintess had found a helper from the Temple of Immortals. It would be strange if she did not fall apart. After Yun Chujiu laughed, she said crisply, Vice Palace Master Liu, that old bastard, is right. That handsome man is the overlord of the Temple of Immortals, Di Baiming. Everyone smacked their lips. Yun Chujiu felt that something was not right. Why were these words used in a positive way? What did using a positive word for an enemy mean? I, on the other hand, am the peerlessly beautiful and devastatingly beautiful little ninth fairy, Yun Chujiu. Boom! Yun Chujiu's words were obviously more lethal than the previous one. Even Vice Palace Master Liu was stunned. If he did not have a defensive spirit tool on him, he would have been injured by Di Baiming. What did you say? You are Yun Chujiu? That's impossible. Vice Palace Master Liu suddenly jumped out of the battle. His direct descendant stepped forward to block Di Baiming. Di Baiming had no choice but to stop and return to Yun Chujiu's side. Old bastard, besides me, Yun Chujiu, who else has the ability to play you like this? How is it? I, the successor of Xing Envy, have been promoted step by you. I really owe you a thank you. Yun Chujiu said arrogantly. Vice Palace Master Liu was so angry that he was trembling. He thought for a while and then laughed wildly. Yun Chujiu, you are really smart and muddle-headed. Do you think that your scheme has succeeded? Ha ha ha. You and Di Baiming are walking into a trap. Everyone, these two are our #1 enemies. As long as we kill them, we will be able to conquer the Tianyuan continent in no time. Why aren't you making a move? Xing Envy and Yun Zhongqing were so anxious that their foreheads were covered in cold sweat. Why did the situation turn from good to bad? Little Jiu, what are you playing at? Just as everyone was in a commotion, Yun Chujiu laughed again. Everyone really did not understand her. What was she laughing at? Was she crazy? Everyone, why do you think our esteemed self and I came all the way here to the Netherworld? Don't we know that our spiritual power will be suppressed here? Don't we know that coming here is equivalent to entering a dragon's den and a tiger's den? Yun Chujiu asked everyone with a smile. Those people thought about it and agreed. Unless Di Baiming and Yun Chujiu had a brain, they would not come all the way here. This was something that would not benefit them at all. Once they were seen through, they would definitely die. Then what was the reason? This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Yun Chuzhou smiled faintly. The reason why we risked our lives to come to the netherworld is because of two words, filial piety and kindness. Vice Palace Master Lu snorted coldly, filial piety and kindness? Don't be a hypocrite. You just want to take over the netherworld continent. Taking over the netherworld palace is just the first step. You first sent people to provoke us at the border and attracted our attention. Then, you sneaked into the netherworld continent. Once you succeed, you will use the netherworld palace as your base and control the entire netherworld continent. What a good plan. Yun Chuzhou glanced at him. Sigh, some people see what they see in their hearts. For example, what I see is a fresh flower, but what he sees is a poisonous plant. Everyone, believe me when I say that Vice Palace Master Lu, that old bastard, has done things that you all know very well. Let me talk about filial piety first. Filial piety is the most important thing. Why did the saintess leave the good saintess behind and choose to run away instead? That was because the old palace master was killed by Vice Palace Master Lu, that ambitious man. How could the saintess marry the person who killed her father? So she had to go far away. Needless to say, the saintess had suffered along the way. Xing Nv could imagine the situation of a weak woman being chased by a heavy army. The saintess had no other choice but to enter the Qing Xian continent by mistake. After being besieged by the demonic beasts, not only was she severely injured, but she also lost her memory. It was the man beside her who saved her and gave her a brand new life. After the two of them got married, a group of people picked up an abandoned baby during a training trip. They regarded her as their own child. Although the face of the abandoned baby was dark and could not cultivate, they did not mind at all. They devoted all their efforts to raise the abandoned baby. Later, in order to regain her memory, the saintess and her husband came to the border between the Qing Xian continent and the netherworld continent again. They did not expect to be caught by Vice Palace Master Liu's men. Vice Palace Master Lu used the power of the netherworld to injure the man, using the antidote to force Xing Nv. Xing Nv had no choice but to become a puppet against her will. After the abandoned baby that Xing Nv picked up grew up, she accidentally found out about the whereabouts of her adoptive parents. Hence, she disregarded her own safety and sneaked into the netherworld continent. She became the successor of Xing Nv. After the mother and daughter acknowledged each other, in order to help her adoptive mother take revenge, her adoptive daughter found her fiancé to help her. What was wrong with that? That's right. I, Yun Chuzhou, am that abandoned baby. I am the saintess' adoptive daughter. If there is no saintess, then there is no me, Yun Chuzhou. If there is no my adoptive parents, then I will lose my life in the wilderness. So, do you think I shouldn't come? Xing Nv asked. Do you think this is the dirty deal that Vice Palace Master Lu is talking about? At this moment, the saintess' face was already covered in tears. The veil on her face was soaked with tears. Everyone present was silent. Most of them were orphans without parents, and their desire for their parents' affection was even greater than that of ordinary people. Some people's eyes were already red. That's right. In order to give their adoptive parents a second chance at life, they had gone deep into a dangerous place. What was wrong with that? Vice Palace Master Lu saw that the situation was not good. He shouted loudly, HMPH. What a nice way of saying it. If it was anyone else, it would have been fine, but Di Baiming was the supreme emperor of the Tianyuan continent's Hall of Longevity. He might have used this opportunity to seize the netherworld continent. Don't be deceived by them. After hearing Vice Palace Master Liu's words, the sympathy in everyone's hearts was diluted a little. That's right, could it be that in the name of rescuing their adoptive parents, they were actually invading our netherworld continent? This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. I've said before that the reason why I came to the netherworld continent is because of two words, filial piety and kindness. I've said filial piety just now let's talk about this kindness. Yun Chujio paused for a moment when she said this. She saw that everyone was listening to her, then, she continued, back then, my adoptive parents adopted me. This is kindness, they didn't abandon me because I was ugly and couldn't cultivate. This is also kindness, I came to rescue my adoptive parents in order to repay their kindness in raising me. This is still kindness. However, these were all small kindness. The reason why my esteemed self and I risked our lives to come to the Netherworld continent was for the greater good. All these years, Vice Palace Master Lu had continuously invaded the Tian Yuan continent for his own selfish desires. Every action he took would result in huge casualties. The casualties were not only from the Tian Yuan continent but also from your Netherworld continent. This was simply a tragedy in the human world. Why must he invade the Tian Yuan continent? Don't tell me that you can't live on in the Netherworld continent. No, this is entirely out of Vice Palace Master Liu's ambition. And countless innocent people have become the victims of his unbounded selfish desires. My esteemed self and I have tried our best to prevent this tragedy in the human world from happening, but Vice Palace Master Lu has ignored our warnings and launched an invasion again and again. This time, we happened to learn about my foster mother's matter, so my esteemed self and I decided to use this opportunity to get rid of Vice Palace Master Lu, this malignant tumor. Only by getting rid of him will our Tian Yuan continent and the Netherworld continent coexist peacefully. You can sell the Netherworld continent specialties to the Tian Yuan continent, and the people of the Tian Yuan continent can also come over to do business. Why not? Why must we act like enemies? To take a step back, the people of the Tian Yuan continent's spiritual power in the Netherworld continent will be suppressed. We are not people who have nothing better to do, and we are risking our cultivation base to stay here for a long time. Therefore, you can rest assured that I have no interest in the Netherworld continent or the Netherworld Palace. Once I help the Saintess get rid of Vice Palace Master Lu, we will immediately leave. If you don't believe me, I can swear to the heavens. I, Yun Chujio, hereby swear that if I have any evil intentions towards the Netherworld continent, I will be struck by lightning and die a horrible death. Everyone was shocked by Yun Chujio's reasonable words. They had long been dissatisfied with Vice Palace Master Liu's repeated invasions. Every time he took action, many of their brothers would die. What was he trying to achieve? Yun Chujio was right. The Netherworld continent did not lack anything. Why did they have to find trouble to attack the Tian Yuan continent? Furthermore, Yun Chujio had already made a poison vow. It was impossible for her to have any thoughts towards the Netherworld continent. Since that was the case, the collusion that Vice Palace Master Lu said was not valid at all. Vice Palace Master Lu saw that the situation was not good and shouted loudly, "Don't listen to her nonsense. What do you mean by great kindness but small kindness? As long as we conquer the Tian Yuan continent, all the spirit stones there will be ours." Yun Chujio sneered, "Did you hear that? He was just doing it for his own selfish desires. Do you think that even if we can conquer the Tian Yuan continent, those spirit stones will still be yours? Moreover, how many of you will be able to live until the end? You will only become stepping stones. What are you still standing there for? Why aren't you quickly getting rid of this malignant tumor? If you want to live a peaceful life, if you want to cultivate the great Tao, kill this old bastard. As long as you kill him, your wife and children's wish to have a warm bed will come true. Otherwise, you'll be single for the rest of your lives." This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Yun Chujio's words were much more provocative than Vice Palace Master Liu's. Moreover, these guards of the Netherworld Palace had long been dissatisfied with Vice Palace Master Lu. Yu Qi and the others took the lead and immediately charged towards Vice Palace Master Lu. Other than a portion of Vice Palace Master Liu's direct line of descent, the rest of the secret guards all defected and charged towards Vice Palace Master Lu. Vice Palace Master Lu roared, "Have you all gone mad? You're all rebelling. Hurry up and stop. Otherwise, you'll die without a complete corpse." Yun Chujiu placed her hands on her waist and stretched her neck as she shouted, "For the sake of my wife and children, heat up the bed. Kill that old bastard." One was threatening while the other was enticing. Obviously, the effect of the enticement was better. Moreover, everyone had a certain hero complex in their hearts. Killing Vice Palace Master Lu would be helping justice, but killing the Saintess would be rebelling. Naturally, they would choose to kill Vice Palace Master Lu. The Saintess and Yun Zhangqing stood behind the crowd and stared blankly at this strange scene. Didn't they say that there was a huge difference in strength between the enemy and themselves? Why did Little Nine say a few words, and now there were only 200 to 300 people left by Vice Palace Master Liu's side? The remaining few thousand people had defected just like that. Not only that, the guards surrounded and attacked Vice Palace Master Lu and his direct line of descent. At the same time, they took the time to use their identity jade tokens to send a message to the guards who were on good terms with them. "Well, we have all surrendered for the sake of our wives and children. You guys should stop blocking the Jin family's people. Let's bring justice together." Word spread like wildfire. The guards who were guarding the city no longer had any desire to continue fighting. Some of them simply opened the gates of the Netherworld Palace and the Jin family's people rushed in. Jin Mantang, the head of the Jin family, could not help but wonder why these people of the Netherworld Palace had surrendered before they had even started fighting. However, it was not the time to think about such things. He led the group and rushed in. Soon, the Jin family, Yun Chujiu and the others gathered together and surrounded Vice Palace Master Lu and his direct disciples. Vice Palace Master Lu and the others were still fighting like cornered beasts. However, Vice Palace Master Lu knew that the situation was over, so he had to escape first. He had to find a way to contact the guards at the border, and there was still a chance for him to make a comeback. Vice Palace Master Lu gritted his teeth. Under the protection of his direct descendants, he bit his index finger again. Before he could chant, he heard a shout, "Old bastard, do you think you can escape? Don't even think about it. Everyone, attack together, don't give him the chance to chant." At the same time that Yun Chujiu said that, the 8 immortal swords stabbed at Vice Palace Master Lu. The Saintess and the others also attacked Vice Palace Master Lu with their spiritual power. Vice Palace Master Lu was too tired to resist, so he didn't have the chance to use the secret technique. Vice Palace Master Liu's intestines turned green with regret. If he had known earlier, he would have used the secret technique to escape. Now, he couldn't escape even if he wanted to. An hour later, all of Vice Palace Master Liu's direct descendants were killed. Vice Palace Master Liu's spiritual power was also restrained by Di Baiming and the others. Xing Envy's side won a great victory. Yun Chujiu did not hide anything and directly interrogated Vice Palace Master Lu in front of everyone. "Vice Palace Master Lu, tell me, why did you want to harm my grandfather?" Yun Chujiu held the kitchen knife and rubbed it against Vice Palace Master Liu's neck. "Humph. Since that old man is still alive, I can only submit to others. Those who block my path will naturally die." Vice Palace Master Lu knew that it would not be good if he fell into Yun Chujiu's hands, so there was nothing to hide. When the Saintess heard Vice Palace Master Liu's words, she was so angry that she was trembling. "Xing Envy. My father treated you well, but I didn't expect you to be an ingrate. You will die a horrible death." Vice Palace Master Lu sneered indifferently. "Since I have already fallen into your hands, there's nothing to say. If you want to kill me or flay me, do it." Seeing that Vice Palace Master Lu was not afraid of boiling water, the Saintess was so angry that she gritted her teeth. She pulled out her sword and was about to kill him when Yunchujio waved her hand at the saintess. Xing NV. Vice Palace Master Lu, you will definitely die. However, shouldn't you explain your relationship with the Divine Devil Hall? Yunchujio stared into Vice Palace Master Liu's eyes. Vice Palace Master Liu's pupils constricted, but he quickly returned to normal. What did you say? I don't understand. Yunchujio had a certain answer in her heart. It's useless even if you deny it. Your subordinate, Protector Sun, once used the Divine Devil Hall's secret technique to escape. He is one of your people, so you must be in contact with the Divine Devil Hall. Thinking back to the time when you killed my grandfather, you were so anxious to invade the Tianyuan continent. I'm afraid it was to find the Eye of Earth Profound. The reason why you didn't kill the Saintess was also to obtain the clues of the Eye of Earth Profound after obtaining the Netherworld Divine Hall. Am I right or wrong? Vice Palace Master Lu looked at Yunchujio in disbelief. How do you know? You are not human. You are not human. According to common sense, Vice Palace Master Lu would not have done such a stupid thing, but he was really too surprised. How did Yunchujio find out about such a secret? Not only do I know this, I also know that Protector Sun had already run away when he saw that the situation was bad. Lu Huanhua, oh Lu Huanhua, why did you say that you were busy with this? If you had not been obsessed with me back then, after you married my beautiful mother, wouldn't the Netherworld Palace have been yours sooner or later? You have been tormenting yourself all these years, but your spiritual power has not increased much, right? The Divine Devil Hall has a pill that can increase spiritual power rapidly. Did they not give it to you? This means that they did not treat you as one of their own at all. They just used you as a knife. Do you really think that you can ascend just because you found the Eye of Earth Profound? In your dreams. I'm afraid that Protector Sun's level in the Divine Devil Hall is higher than yours. Otherwise, why would he know the secret techniques of the Divine Devil Hall? You have been treated as a target for arrows, but their true confidants are safe and sound. Don't you think you are extremely stupid? Most of Yunchujio's words were nonsense. This was because people like Vice Palace Master Lu would not be swayed by force or persuasion. It was useless to extort a confession by torture. Yunchujio had also thought of performing a soul search, but she was worried that Vice Palace Master Lu had been imprinted with a soul imprint. Even if she performed a soul search, she would not be able to find anything. Therefore, she could only get some information out of him if her psychological defense line collapsed. When Vice Palace Master Lu heard Yunchujio's words, his eyes turned red and he roared, "You're talking nonsense. You're talking nonsense. My lord would not lie to me. As long as I find the Eye of Earth Profound in the Tianyuan continent and the Netherworld continent, I will ascend and my lifespan will be as long as the heavens. Whether I am speaking nonsense or not, you know very well in your heart that you are just a chess piece. No, you are just a pawn." Yunchujio said with a sneer. Vice Palace Master Lu shook his head desperately. "You are lying to me. You are speaking nonsense. It will not happen. It will not happen. Humph. If your lord really takes you seriously, why didn't he come to save you? According to what I know, your lord has the ability to tear through the void, so why did he let you become a prisoner?" Yunchujio said coldly. "You're talking nonsense. You're talking nonsense." Vice Palace Master Lu didn't know how to refute other than this sentence, because even though he didn't want to believe it, he knew in his heart that what Yunchujio said was true. He really became an abandoned child who was fooled by others. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. As he spoke, Vice Palace Master Lu burst out laughing like a madman. He laughed with tears in his eyes. "It's such a pity that I, Lu Huanhua, have been clever all my life, but in the end, I was taken advantage of by others as a fool. If it weren't for my obsession, I would have a beautiful wife by my side now, and my spiritual power wouldn't have stagnated. This is karma. The retribution of greed. Yun Chujio waited until he was almost done venting before she said, Vice Palace Master Lu, are you willing to be fooled just like that? Tell me what you know, and I'll leave your corpse intact and bury you properly. Vice Palace Master Lu laughed self-deprecatingly. You little girl, you're really good at scheming people's hearts. However, I'm really not willing. I want those people who fooled me to pay the price. I'll tell you everything I know. 17 years ago, a person wearing a purple mask suddenly appeared in my courtyard. At that time, I was very surprised. The Netherworld Palace was heavily guarded. How did he enter? I immediately wanted to restrain him. I didn't expect that in just 5 exchanges, I would be restrained by him. That person sneered and said, when will you be able to ascend with your mediocre martial arts? At that time, I was extremely shocked. Although my spiritual power was at the 3rd level of the Supreme Spirit Realm at that time, it was still not bad. In front of that person, I was actually unable to withstand a single blow. From this, it could be seen that that person's spiritual power was extremely high. I thought that person would kill me. Unexpectedly, after he released me, he told me that there was a great opportunity in front of me. If I could grasp it, not only would I be able to control the entire Netherworld Palace, I would also be able to ascend in the near future. At that time, I was blinded by greed and immediately agreed. He helped me poison the old Hall Master and was prepared to let me take his place. After I took control of the Netherworld Hall, I would help him find the Eye of Earth Profound in the Tian Yuan continent and the Netherworld continent. I followed that person's plan and killed the old Hall Master. Everything went smoothly, but I didn't expect that Xing Nv would escape after discovering the flaw. Perhaps this is the will of heaven. This is the punishment of the Netherworld spirit. Yun Chujio curled her lips and asked, how often does the purple-masked man contact you? When was the last time he contacted you? What about that protector son? Do you know that he is also a member of the Divine Devil Hall? The purple-masked man rarely contacts me. The last time was more than a year ago. He urged me to find the Eye of Earth Profound as soon as possible and gave me a lot of Netherworld elixir. As for that damned Sun Qingzhen, I had no idea that he was also a member of the Godfiend Temple. It was probably the purple-masked man who was spying on me. No wonder the purple-masked man rarely saw me, so my every move was reported to him. Vice Palace Master Lu could not help but laugh bitterly at himself. Yun Chujio asked Vice Palace Master Lu who else was in his direct line of descent, but Vice Palace Master Lu refused to say no matter what. Yun Chujio gave Di Baiming a look. Di Baiming nodded and immediately began to search Vice Palace Master Liu's soul. As Yun Chujio expected, Di Baiming's soul search was only halfway through. Vice Palace Master Lu bled to death from all 7 orifices. Yun Chujio pulled Vice Palace Master Liu's storage ring down, thinking that there would be something inside. Unfortunately, other than a jade token engraved with the resurrection lily, there were no other valuable clues. The surrounding people were all dumbfounded. They had all heard Vice Palace Master Liu's words. Although they were confused, they still understood the general meaning. Vice Palace Master Lu had been used by some divine devil hall. Not only had he killed the old palace master, but he also had to find the Eye of Earth Profound in the Tian Yuan continent and the Netherworld continent. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Yun Chujio held the jade medallion in her hand and said to everyone, "Everyone, I'm sure you've all heard that the Divine Devil Hall mentioned by Vice Palace Master Lu has very sinister intentions. Once they find the Eye of Earth Profound, the spiritual energy of the Tian Yuan continent and the Netherworld continent will be depleted, and we will become ordinary people who are unable to cultivate. It's a good thing that all of you are wise enough to work together to kill Vice Palace Master Lu. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. Yun Chujio did not show off that she had made a great contribution. Instead, she put the credit on the Jin family and the members of the Netherworld Hall. Jin Mantang and the others were naturally very satisfied. It seemed that Yun Chujio really had no designs on our Netherworld continent. They did not know that Yun Chujio was actually thinking in her heart, a bunch of idiots. Your Xing Nv is my mother, isn't hers mine? Jin Mantang had just heard that the Lin Chu Chu that his daughter mentioned was actually Yun Chujio from the Tianyuan continent, and the young man beside her was actually Di Biming from the Temple of Immortals. He had yet to recover from this truth. When he heard Vice Palace Master Liu's words again, he was extremely shocked. Jin Mantang recovered from his shock and asked, Miss Yun, it was all thanks to you and your excellency that we managed to resolve this disaster. I just wonder how you found out about the Divine Devil Temple. Yun Chujio sighed. I'm sure all of you know that I was originally from the Azure Mystic Continent. The Divine Devil Hall had also extended their claws into the Azure Mystic Continent. The people of the Azure Mystic Continent had worked together to kill some of the people from the Divine Devil Hall. However, there were still 2 fish that escaped the net. One of them was even torn through the void and rescued. I had always been worried that the Divine Devil Hall would not let this matter rest. I did not expect that they would also have designs on the Tianyuan continent and the Netherworld continent. Jin Mantang could not help but be very worried when he heard that. Miss Yun, that protector son that you mentioned just now has escaped. Will he make a comeback? Yun Chujio nodded. Master Jin, you are right to be worried. Therefore, we cannot immerse ourselves in the joy of victory. We have to do 3 things immediately. The first thing is to immediately spread public opinion and spread the news about what Vice Palace Master Lu said and the incident at the Divine Devil Hall. Firstly, we must let everyone take precautions. Secondly, we must also prevent the guards at the border from being incited by Protector Sun. The second thing is that Si Tushar of the Netherworld Academy is a direct descendant of Vice Palace Master Lu. Perhaps he still has a part of his men. In order to prevent him from going to the front line to incite others, we must first capture him. The third thing was that Xing Nv immediately gathered the leaders of the various major powers to come to the Nether Palace. She wanted to expose the truth of the matter to the public so as to avoid arousing unnecessary speculation. Jin Mantang frowned. Miss Yun, although your arrangements are very appropriate, what if those heads don't believe what we say? After all, Vice Palace Master Lu is already dead. It would be difficult to convince the public with just a jade token. Secondly, what if those people at the border really rebelled? Yun Chujio smiled faintly. She took out an item from her hand. I'm afraid that I won't be able to testify even if I die. That's why I've already recorded what Vice Palace Master Lu said with the recording stone, not to mention that there are so many witnesses. As for those people at the front line, although there are quite a number of them, without Vice Palace Master Lu as the pillar of support, coupled with the many days of suffering at the front line, I'm afraid that they're already eager to return. As long as we do it properly, there won't be any waves. Hearing Yun Chujio's words, Jin Mantang could not help but sigh when he saw the recording stone in Yun Chujio's hand. This Yun Chujio was really a monster. Not to mention anything else, just under such circumstances, she actually thought of using the recording stone to preserve the evidence. It was truly admirable. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Seeing that Jin Mantang and the others had no doubts, Yun Chujio continued, since everyone has no doubts and the Netherworld Academy is not far from here, we will send a portion of our men to the Netherworld Academy to capture him. Before Yun Chujio could finish her sentence, an old voice was heard saying, Little Jiu, there's no need to waste your energy. I've captured this old brat for you. Following the voice, a person who was tied up was thrown in front of everyone. Everyone focused their eyes and saw that the person who was tied up was the Dean of the Netherworld Academy, Si Tushar. Uncle Master. How did you catch this old bastard? The person who came was the old man of the heavenly lake. Yun Chujio asked in surprise. The old man of the heavenly lake smiled. Originally, I wanted to help with Bei Ming and the others, but Bei Ming asked me to bring some people to keep an eye on the Netherworld Academy to prevent people from coming over to help. I didn't expect that this old fellow would sneak out of the Netherworld Academy and be caught red-handed by me. Yun Chujio was stunned at first, then she giggled at Di Baiming, Prince Charming, you've gone astray. However, I like you even more now. Hee hee. Although Di Baiming was already used to Yun Chujio's shameless attitude, he was still very embarrassed in front of his future in-laws. If it wasn't for the mask on his face, he would have found a hole to hide in. Yun Chujio and the others began to interrogate Si Tushar again. Si Tushar was not as tough as Vice Palace Master Lu. He did not force him to tell them everything he knew. With the list of direct descendants that Si Tushar had given them, Yun Chujio and the others saved a lot of effort and began to deal with the aftermath. It was not until the morning of the fifth day that the Saintess and Yun Zhangqing had the time to interrogate Di Baiming. It was the morning of the Sheng Nv. Di Baiming had been feeling uneasy for the past few days. Now that he heard that his future parents-in-law had summoned him, he felt uneasy. Greetings, uncle and auntie. Di Baiming bowed respectfully. Sit down. The Saintess said coldly. Di Baiming knew from her tone that he would not be able to get through today. He could only brace himself and sit on a chair at the side. Just as the Saintess was about to begin her interrogation, someone jumped in from outside the house. Beautiful mother, father, you guys are really biased. Why didn't you call me when you called Brother Baiming? The Saintess could not help but glare at Yun Chujio. Didn't I ask you to deal with the matters of the Netherworld Hall? Why are you here? Yun Chujio giggled. Mother, aren't you asking the obvious? My brother, Sheng Nv, is a blockhead. He doesn't know how to speak like me. I have to keep an eye on him. Otherwise, what if I say the wrong thing and anger you guys? If you guys get angry, my heart will ache. The corner of the Saintess' mouth twitched. She said it nicely, but she was afraid that they would make things difficult for Di Baiming. What an extrovert girl. Originally, the Saintess and Yun Zhangqing were prepared to strike down Di Baiming's arrogance and help Yun Chujio look for trouble. However, with Yun Chujio's banter, it turned into a sweet love story between the two of them. The Saintess and Yun Zhangqing felt a little flustered and had no choice but to give up on the interrogation. The Saintess said, Sheng Nv, when the matter here has come to an end, let's go back to Qing Xian continent to see your grandfather. Hearing the Saintess' words, Yun Zhangqing felt a warmth in his heart and shook the Saintess' hand. Mother, I'm afraid that it will take some time before we can return to Qing Xian continent. Because, when the matters on your side are more or less settled, I have to return to the Tian Yuan Academy first. Otherwise, I'm afraid I'll be expelled, Yun Chujio said with a bitter face. So be it. What's the point of studying in that lousy academy? Our little Nine doesn't need to go to school at all. In the saint's heart, her daughter was omnipotent and didn't need to go back to school at all. Cough cough. Mother, I still need to go to school. Back then, I told my aunt that I needed to get into the top 100 of the prodigy roll before she could accept me. Although my aunt had long accepted me, I still have to honor my words. Moreover, although I am quite powerful, my teacher is still in the academy. I still have a lot of things that I haven't learned yet. Yun Chujio said with a smile. When the Saintess heard Yun Chujio mention the prodigy role, she thought of how the palace master's wife had made things difficult for Yun Chujio. She glared at Di Baiming. Di Baiming rubbed his nose guiltily and tried his best to reduce his presence. Alright, if that's the case, then you can go back to the academy first. When your holiday is over, we can return to the Azure Mystic continent together. The reason why the saintess wanted to return with Yun Chujio and Xing Nv was firstly because she wanted to reunite her family, secondly, once she arrived at the Azure Mystic Continent, her spiritual power would be greatly reduced. If she did not have Yun Chujio and the others to protect her, she might be in danger. Yun Chujio nodded with a smile and said, "Father, Mother, then it's a deal." "Oh right, you have to continue working hard. Try to get a little brother in your beautiful mother's belly when you go back." Xing Nv and Yun Zhangqing were blushing from Yun Chujio's stroke of genius. Xing Nv spat, "What nonsense are you spouting? Hurry up and go out to work." Sigh. "My life is really tough. I finally found my parents, but they treated me as a coolie." Xing Nv, "Come here quickly and comfort my injured little heart," Yun Chujio said slyly. Di Baiming saw that Xing Nv and Yun Zhangqing were extremely embarrassed, so he quickly said, "Uncle, Auntie, little Jiao and I will take our leave first." After saying that, Di Baiming dragged Yun Chujio who was still making funny faces away. Yun Chujio simply jumped on Di Baiming's body. "Xing Nv, my legs are weak. Carry me." Di Baiming sighed and carried the little rascal away. The saintess and Yun Zhangqing looked at their daughter who looked like an octopus. They looked at each other and smiled bitterly. Initially, they were worried that their daughter would be bullied after marrying Xing Nv, but now it seemed that they should be worried that their son-in-law would be bullied. Di Baiming carried Yun Chujio out of the back hall. Yun Chujio smiled and said, "My God, did I come at the right time? If I didn't come to save you, my father and mother would definitely not forgive you. Tell me, how should you reward me?" Di Baiming curled his lips. "How about giving yourself to me?" Yun Chujio was so shocked that she almost slipped off Di Baiming's back. Oh my, why was this wooden stake acting like it had a stroke? Occasionally, it would open its eyes, and occasionally, it would not open its eyes. When it did not open its eyes, it would come to the poetry competition for me. When it opened its eyes, it tickled my little heart so much that it almost jumped out. Just as pink bubbles were popping out between the two of them, and Feng, the little expert who was bullied, came over miserably. "Miss Jiao, the three ladies you asked me to find are here to seek an audience with you." And Feng felt that his life was really tough. Not only did he have to eat dog food, but he also had to endure the cold gaze of his master. Yun Chujio jumped down from Di Baiming's back. "Wanwan and the others are here. That's great. I'll go and see them now." After Yun Chujio said that, she ran away. Di Baiming glared at Feng. "There's no salary for this year. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content." And Feng's heart was filled with tears as he went down miserably. Di Baiming was conflicted in his heart. His original body had already said that he would give his body to her, so why didn't little Jiao have any reaction? Could it be that she didn't want to marry him? No, after he went back, he had to get someone to betroth him as soon as possible. He had to settle the title first so that he wouldn't be kidnapped. At that time, not only would his in-laws send the betrothal gifts, he would also send the betrothal gifts to little Nine's grandfather. That way, there would be no mistakes. When Di Baiming thought of this, he finally calmed down and went to deal with the tasks assigned to him. Yun Chujio hopped into the main hall and indeed saw Mo Wanwan and the other two waiting in the hall. Yun Chujio's transfiguration pill had lost its effect and she had recovered her original appearance. Therefore, when Mo Wanwan and the other two saw Yun Chujio, they couldn't help but be stunned. "What? You don't know me? I am the peerless and extremely intelligent Chujio of your generation," Yun Chujio said with a smile. When Mo Wanwan and the other two saw this shameless attitude, they confirmed that this was without a doubt Lin Chujio. Although the three of them had confirmed Yun Chujio's identity, they were still very cautious. They had all heard that Lin Chujio was actually Yun Chujio from the Tianyuan continent, the adopted daughter of the saintess, and also the fiancée of the palace lord of the Sheng-En-V. The future wife of the hall master. Yun Chuzhou said with a smile, whether I am Yun Chuzhou or Lin Chuzhou, the feelings between the four of us will not change. Quickly sit down, I will tell you about my heroic deeds. The corners of Mo Wanwan's and the other two's eyes twitched. This show-off was indeed the same as before. However, they were also very curious, so they let Yun Chuzhou start bragging. Yun Chuzhou was bragging for quite a while, then, they got to the main topic. Wanwan, Lu Qin, and Ing Han, the reason why I called you here is to ask if you are willing to work in the Netherworld Hall. You also know that after the cleansing of the Netherworld Hall, many positions have been vacant. There are many positions that are best filled by women, and you are the best candidates. Mo Wanwan and the other two were naturally very eager. They were all from a small family, and the reason why they participated in the selection of Sheng-En-V was to jump through the dragon gate like a carp. Yun Chuzhou had given them such a good opportunity, so of course they were willing to accept it. Yun Chuzhou chatted with the three of them for a while, and then asked Mama Chi to bring them to perform their duties. This Mama Chi was the one who had tested Yun Chuzhou and the others' etiquette. Yun Chuzhou had a very good impression of this Mama Chi, so she suggested to the saintess to let Mama Chi take the place of the original Imama. Yun Chuzhou looked at the backs of Mo Wanwan and the other two, and could not help but sigh in her heart. She was afraid that she would not be able to get back her old best friend relationship, because Yun Chuzhou could see from the three people's eyes that they were more respectful and reserved, friendship was secondary. Fortunately, Jin Ji was a heartless person and did not hold any grudges because of Yun Chuzhou's true identity. She even wanted to go to the Tian Yuan continent. Everything was carried out in an orderly manner. Yun Chuzhou asked the saintess to blow up the passage under the Sheng-En-V to prevent any trouble in the future. The guards at the border were just as Yun Chuzhou had expected. They had long been fed up with the suffering at the border. As soon as they heard that the two continents had made peace, they immediately retreated. The Jin family had become the #1 family in the Netherworld continent. However, Jin Mantang was a shrewd man. He was afraid that the sudden expansion of the Jin family would cause suspicion from the Netherworld Hall, so he took the initiative to ask Jin Ji and Yun Chuzhou to go to the Tian Yuan Academy to study together. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.